dear viewers and followers. There's a video I really want to make before I leave the house. Um, it's in regards of out of the blue, somebody banging on your door or ringing your bell. I want to share experience with you guys that I had a few years ago, living in the city center. I moved out of that place because there was the gang stalking was severe over there. Severe. Also, a lot of homeless people there. Junkies and police used to drive by often also. They wouldn't let me sleep there. A lot of banging, and that house was kind of old, but it had a lot of rooms. I had a big house back then. But they used to. My neighbors used to kill me with the noise. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding at all. Keep me up at night while I have to go work. 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a hellhole that house. You know. And a few years ago, I didn't have the patience that I really have now because, yeah, you grow, when you're on this path. Sometimes I used to get angry, but never to a point that I fought someone physically, but I used to tell them verbally. I didn't use kind words to put it in that way, but guys, I want to talk about this. I remember sitting in the kitchen back then, and I had no appointment with anyone, didn't have any plans, and somebody all of a sudden knocked, but it was like a knock, a little bit violent. It was not a normal way of knocking, when you go to somebody's house, because you have to have a form of, yeah, you do know how to behave, There are certain ways to knock somebody's door, It almost looked like the police was doing a raiding there, It was a little bit in a violent way, and I got like this cold chill over my whole body, and normally that's your soul telling your body that there's danger coming. Your body tenses up. This same thing, guys. Sometimes I have it outside. When I see people, so we see the bots. Some are NPC, but there are some soulless ones I see, and it's not. It has nothing to do with you being a coward or being afraid. Because it's not always about that. You can be strong physically, but if there's danger, there's danger. This thing is spiritual. And I remember there's a specific guy. I saw him yesterday also. I went to do some groceries, and every time I see this guy, it's like my body tenses up. That 9 out of 10 times that means there's something wrong terribly wrong with that individual. And what I wanted to say back to the story. Um, Anyway, the person it knocked and it pressed the bell. My mind, my everything told me don't open that door. But what I did instead, I went upstairs. I ran upstairs and opened the window. And guys, I kid you not, there was nobody standing there. And I remember reading this article about a few years ago, or was it the fellow enlightened one that sent me that? One of the two. I was looking at it and listening no, to the video, and there was this woman that had the same experience I had. Went and opened the door. Literally, she fell over and died. I'm telling you guys. Sometimes also the spirit of death tries to knock on your door. Literally. And in this new house, I had it a few times also. I do not open the door if I don't have an appointment with you and I'm not expecting one, and especially if the person or the entity comes knocking that violently, I'm not gonna open. It's 9 out of 10 times always bad news. And you guys in America have it better than us here in the Netherlands, because there you guys at least have a right to protect yourself with a firearm, with a gun. Here, you do that, you are the one who ends up going to jail for a good 10 years. I'm not kidding. Look it up. And here, it's very strange with Dutch people. I kind of love it that they are not violent people. I think in whole Europe, Dutch people are the less violent ones, although they are the biggest one physically. Dutch people are like the tallest in the whole world, but they don't like violence. I love it actually, but it sometimes it doesn't suit you in a legal way because sometimes when you call the cops, they take forever to come, and sometimes they only come when you're dead. It happened a few times here. So they expect you to be for you not to defend yourself and always call them, but those guys don't come sometimes, or an hour later, and you sometimes a second when you're in danger feels like hours. But guys, I had this a second time, but this time I was eating like my kitchen was immediately downstairs, and some doors you have like this small part of glass which you can look through from the outside in. I literally saw a European man bending over forwards and looking into my kitchen. I was like, what the heck? Who is that man? So, guys, I kid you not. This was before I learned not to open a door when you get that strange feeling. So yeah, I made a mistake one time. I opened the door. That guy literally vanished. And I remember that time it was a little bit, yeah, not new, but I didn't have that experience 4 years ago. Often. So for me, it was kind of shocking. I called a fellow enlightened one, a good friend of mine, because you do have sold people also. And sold people I do call my friend. And he told me that happened to them also. And he told me, please never open it up again because he also used to have that cold feeling going through his body. And he said also, if I don't have an appointment, it's kind of strange, unless it's maybe the let's say if you hire the house from a certain agency, they have the right, of course, with your consent, to come to check things out. But I didn't even have that, so I wouldn't open the door. He told me. And yeah, guys, those things happen. And there's a YouTube channel. He's called Benjamin Kouwenberg, you know, Benjamin Kouwenberg, and he talks about all these things. And he also said that the way this matrix works is when you hit 0 point, it's like a radar alert goes off, and the matrix finds a way to keep you in discomfort. It's about never being at peace. Guys, do you also know that in the other house, I used to be sometimes at peace for like 15 minutes, and then out of the blue, the demon children, from the neighbors used to run like it's a marathon, almost coming through my ceiling downwards, or banging, or all of a sudden a guy would rub his engine so loud that it would startle you in the kitchen. It's crazy, guys. It's about you never being in peace. But yeah, guys, the title is not opening the door for yeah, I would call it Archons, because that cold feeling you get, it's remember these guys are hosts, for these entities. But guys, never open the door when you don't expect someone or you don't have an appointment, especially if that person keeps knocking and banging on a violent way. That there is an entity, and if you open that door, I'm not telling you to be fearful. You're causing problems, and then it's a little bit your own fault because I do not open the door. I do not open the door. So I wanted to share that with you guys. They do this type of stuff. That's why I never like living all the way down, downstairs on street level. I never liked houses like that. I never liked houses like that.